Hello everyone, this is my last tutorial for the night and I want to show you how to make a modal dialogue. What is a modal dialogue? The best way to describe it is to show you. You've seen them many times and they look like this. Now notice that usually when you have many windows in Filemaker open, a user could click out and lose that window. It will go behind another window. But look what happens. If I click outside of it, I can't leave this. So I'm going to teach you how to make dialogues that stay open like this until the user does one of two actions: save or cancel. Now, why would you want to create this? For example, if you had a list like I have here, and you didn't want any user to be able to just create records and type information, you could control that by using a dialogue and then set their privileges so that only certain people can create new contacts. That way, this list can still be used as a layout to search for. Alright, so what you want to do is make two layouts. The first one is your list view, or whatever you want to use. Okay? And on this layout, I have a button. And this button performs a script called create contact. Okay? And then on this layout, I have a layout called new contact. It has the 4 fields and 2 buttons. Now this button is a script step. All it does is resume the script. And the reason why we have that is because when you run the script, it pauses to keep the window open. So once they click save, the script will continue and save the record. Okay? Now this button is a bit different. It runs another script called cancel action. Let's take a look at that. Now, I don't think I've ever shown the script menu, the Manage Scripts dialog before. If I have, I'm going to go over it a little bit more, because this can be a little bit scary to new FileMaker users, but it's really not that bad. Now, here's our list of scripts we've created. And the first one we're going to look at is cancel action. So I double click it. On the left, you get every single possible script step that can be performed. And on the right will appear the various steps that you have created in this script. Now this script has only one step, and that is to create a global variable called delete. A global variable is simply a storage place where you have put information that can be accessed anywhere in the file. All you have to do is type this wherever you need that information, and the value that you save will be accessible. Okay? So we're making a global variable called delete, and we're setting the value to 1. So remember, this is our cancel action. So let's close this. And now we're going to go to our other script, create contact. And this is what it consists of. The first thing you do is turn off user abort, which is right here. What that does is it makes the script have to be continued to the end. And this is what makes it the window not be able to be closed. Okay? Then we create a new window, and again, if you just click in this menu and you begin to type the script step, you can jump to it, and then you just double click it and add it to the layout. Okay? So we create a new window, and I just called it new contact, and I gave it a height and width of 1 pixel. Alright? The next step is to hide the status area. This is the status area here. You don't want your user to see that in the dialog because then it won't look like a dialog. Then we go to this layout here, the new contact layout, and we resize the window to fit the contents of it. Okay? Now this one's a little bit tricky. I'm going to open it up so you can take a look at it. It's called the Move Resize script step. And what we do is I just set the distance from the top at 150 pixels. So that would be about right here. But we want to center the dialog. So what you do is this calculation. The screen width divided by 2 minus the window width divided by 2. Now to get these functions, you go here, and these are under get functions. Get functions are very nifty because they give you all kinds of information about your file, like the layout you're on. You can pull things like the user's account name, the field that he's clicked into, etc. So I'm using 2 of these, and the first one is the screen width versus the window width. The window would be the window that has the layout. So let's look at this. So half, let's say your screen width is 1440 pixels. Half of that is 720, which would be right here. And then the window itself, let's say, is 300 pixels. We divide that by 2, and we subtract 720. We subtract 150 from 720, and that puts us right here. So it'll put the dialog right here, which will be right in the middle from the left side. So let's click OK. And then we create a new record and we pause the script. Now, the user will use these 2 buttons to resume this script. So until they click one of these 2 buttons, the dialog will just sit there. Now, after they resume the script, the first thing we do is commit the records. And what that does is it sort of saves it to the database. But now this is what we're looking for. If there's a global variable called delete and the value is 1, we'll clear the variable, and you do that by just setting the variable and using 2 quotations. Like this would be a value of whatever, AKJSH. But when you use 2 quotes, it's like saying nothing. So we clear that variable so that the next time the script runs, it doesn't appear there. And then we delete that record that we created because they clicked cancel. And finally, we close the window. Okay? Now all we would have left to do is create the 2 buttons, and this button, as we said, is going to be a resume script step. And this button is going to perform a script, which is cancel action. And then you want to make sure this is set to resume, so that once this script happens, it continues the original script, create contact. Now, that's a lot of information, but if you go over this tutorial a couple of times, it should make sense to you. So we go back to the contacts, we go to browse mode, and let's try it. Create a new contact. And notice if I click out, nothing happens. Not even the menus work. So the user is forced to complete this action.